You could chit chat for a bit while I do that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, we have Pudding Tam on the left, and we have HenryFan on the right. They are both playing Briar, it appears. And it looks like they're just shuffling up, getting ready to go. Like I mentioned, Pudding Tam is one of the winners of an RTN in Hong Kong, as you can see by his beautiful tunic playmat. Well, I have messaged the judge, and I hope that the judge will move the life counter somewhere where we can see it soon. Would be nice. All right. My brother says you were still soft, so I'm going to turn you up even more.
Okay.
Yep. All right, let me see if I can play around with any of the other settings. Let's see. We're doing it live. Doing it live.
That's it. Sometimes you got to.
Sometimes you got to. Let's see here. All right. I gave you an extra 2 decibels. Let's see if that works.
All right. Let's do it.
Yep. Looks like you're hitting that yellow part of the audio mixer, so that seems good. Yep. Yep. As you can see, it was kind of like a ragtag operation a little bit, but we're just two guys that love Fab, and if we could show the world a little bit about, in my opinion, one of the strongest regions in the world for Flesh and Blood, that would. And this is, I even though I live in the U.S., I still consider Hong Kong one of my homes. So, all right. So it looks like we have decks cut, and people are drawing up. All right. So on the right, looks like Henry is rocking the Skullcap Tunic, Grasp, and Snapdragons. But Pudding is rocking the Spellbound. Is that that's the legendary Spellbound Creepers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Spellbound Creepers. Yep. That's an interesting difference.
Mm-hmm.
The Snapdragons on the right, that does typically lean more toward the Lightning Briar, but I have seen a lot of people running it in the hybrid, just to
Mm-hmm.
have that on-demand go again and free
Mm-hmm.
resources. Not having to use it on the creepers. However, the creepers just allow for such a dynamic gameplay on being able to play on either turn. We do have a Ravenous Rabble with a Shockwave revealed.
Yep.
That definitely leans toward more of a lightning build on the left for sure.
Yep. Um, now the Spellbound Creepers allows for some really really interesting plays. Not only can you play things like Mount Heroic at instant speed, you can play things like Chains of Eminence at instant speed, as I found out.
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely. That was my favorite thing against Katsu and
Yep.
Bolton. As soon as
Mm-hmm.
they pop the Courage of Blade Hold, you can
Mm-hmm.
instant speed that Chains of Eminence and really mess up those plans. But
Yep.
I would
Okay.
expect stuff more like plunder runs after somebody declares no block, things like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Sure. Looks like we have a 4-card block from Henry. We saw him block with a Force of Nature. So does that tell you anything about his deck build a little bit?
It does mean that he's not straight line Cheerio. It does not. So I would probably lean toward more the Mount Heroic because sometimes it's played as just a
Mm-hmm.
blue 3 block that's very efficient. But sometimes it is also a card that can be used to chain into a Mount Heroic.
Mm. Something I'm noticing is that Henry actually has the extended arc tunic. How did he get that? I don't
Uh-oh.
know. Maybe he borrowed it from Pudding. Maybe they're good friends. I don't know. All right, so we have a Sonata. Now this is probably going to be for 0 here. No, it looks like he's going to pitch.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Looks like he's debating what to do here. Yep.
We got a
looks
blue
like
captain's call.
Blue captain's call to pitch. So X is going to be 1.
Oh,
He's going to reveal 4 cards. Let's see what he hits.
Yeah.
Weave Lightning,
Right,
Force of
like
Nature.
on the
Yep.
lightning surge.
Looks like he gets the Lightning Surge. 1 arcane damage flying over. Now it's interesting that both players have elected not to run any AB. I guess that is fairly standard. However, that can create some like really awkward situations later in the game.
Yeah, in this matchup, it feels like it's never right to give up a card because even if you have AB1, it doesn't stop the sting and ball combo because it already modifies the damage before it comes in. And now we have a Scar for Scar going down. He is at 38 life versus 39, so it doesn't have to go again.
He's kind of lucky that Sonata didn't hit a second card. Or else that would have been off.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you do things right. All right, so with an embodiment of Earth, do you think he's just going to elect to take this? Looks like he
really,
is.
It just depends on. Yeah, so he is taking it. So it either means that he didn't have an efficient block. So if he had like a Force of Nature, for example, in his hand, I think that's an easy block because you don't want to give the embodiments. But it's actually it's a double-edged sword because you can get all the embodiments in the world, but if you block with all your non-attack actions, your next turn's a lot weaker. So we also have an Inton Lightning coming out. Did he fuse it?
He did with the
so fuse as go again.
With the lightning surge, which is definitely going to go into the arsenal here. I guess there's
such a great card.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth to pitch it. Actually, he still has 1 pitch left over, even though he is not representing that with the dice.
So he'll come in with the sword for 2 and 2. Yep, absolutely.
We see a block with the Arcanic Shockwave. Likely meaning he has several attacks.
Yeah. Right, and exactly.
Probably doesn't have a... Yep, exactly. All right, Henry coming in here for 2 and 2 at the end of this combat chain. Pretty good turn 1.
That's really what you want to see, and then set up that arsenal. One thing that in these decks you really don't want to do is you don't want to exhaust everything, and you come in with a 4-card hand, and then you're really your turns are a lot less impactful without that arsenal. So it's great to just hold that one back. Of course, he had 1 floating. Of course, that was a standard sword swing on that one for sure.
Yep. Looks like Henry played that turn pretty efficiently. So
absolutely.
What is Pudding going to do? Looks like he's going to hit him back with a Scar for Scar.
Yep.
No blocks on the... Looks like they have a table judge over there to help manage the life totals, which I guess is good for the players. The one less thing for them to have to remember.
Right.
All right, that's an embodiment. Yep. That would have been a missed trigger there if he had played another card. All right.
Ball lightning. Is it yellow?
That is probably a red. I think he flashed 3 fingers, but not entirely sure.
Oh, okay.
If we see a card block or we see armor block, that'll kind of tell us.
If it's, it's usually standard to block these ball lightnings unless you just got a really good hand. It's very easy and efficient to block them, especially with 2 embodiments. It's easy, 1 card, or you could always block Skullcap and Grasp.
I believe Henry can kind of deduce that because Pudding blocked with a Shockwave last turn, that there's just 1 more attack coming. There's not There's not ball lightning into 2 attacks, or else he would have kept the Shockwave there for maximum damage. So this is actually not the most threatening ball lightning because it's kind of coming with just one extra attack after it. Looks like he's
And the
electing.
chances of a non-attack action is going to be.
Looks like he's
way down.
electing to block with the grasp, meaning that was a yellow. And he's coming in with another shockwave. So this, makes sense.
And he did not fuse, so it does not do the arcane damage. So it's just a standard 4. That should be a pretty easy take on that.
Yep. All right. Arsenaling something for next turn. I feel like there has to be a better way to manage the life than to go into the menus each turn, but but maybe they know something I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we gotta ask the judge later. All right, so Henry's about to begin his second turn here, and these guys are, attacking quite hard. I don't see this game lasting more than 6 or 7 turns. It appears like both of them are on more of a lightning build. Would you say that they're actually we did see some cards that suggest it could be Channel Mount Heroic in Henry's deck.
Yeah, I would say that it's a higher chance that Pudding's deck is more on the lightning build. I would say that Henry's deck is still open to with Force of Natures. I haven't seen any. The biggest thing you're looking for to distinguish between the two is any blue earth pitch card. If somebody pitches a Earth Lore Surge or something like that, then that guarantees that they are playing hybrid for sure. But
Sure. It looks like we haven't seen anything quite like that yet. So the Ravel reveals a Shockwave off the top, so this is coming in for 4. We'll go again.
I think Henry's got a Ball Lightning and a Plunder Run in hand, so I think it's pretty safe to assume that we'll see the Ball Lightning and then the Lightning Surge from hand or from Arsenal.
Yep. So Pudding blocked with a piece of armor plus Snatch. That is suggesting that he doesn't have non-attacks that he really wants to use. So Ball Lightning coming in with the Lightning Surge as a follow-up. 4 or 5 damage here with Go again.
And that's actually one reason why I actually favor the Snapdragons is because with a card like Snatch, it really it forces you to consider the card. Whereas if you don't have Snapdragons, you really can ignore it if you know they don't have a source of Go again or a way to obtain it. And you can deduce, he doesn't have a whole lot of cards in his hand to really take advantage of the creepers. So Snapdragons really works great with that Snatch card for sure.
Okay. All right, we saw a Command and Conquer block. Okay. All right, Tunic is finally online. Looks like he's going to use that energy for an Electrify or something. What is this? Art of War. Okay, that is not something you see every day in a Briar deck. Looks like he's banishing an Entwined Lightning, drawing 2, and placing the dice on the Art of War. I guess he's choosing the +1/+1 mode.
Right.
Yep, coming in with a Nimblism, revealing a red Plunder Run. I think maybe not.
So that should be coming in for 8 if it was a red Plunder Run. So the interesting part about this match
Looks
so
like that was a
far
blue
is
one.
that none of Okay, it was a blue one. Okay, so the interesting part about the match is neither deck has really shown any on-hit effects that truly matter, like the Plunder Runs and those type of cards that really demand the person to give you tempo. I think I think that this match will be concluded once the first person presents those cards. I think that'll really give that person the favor and
Yep.
really allow them to take it for sure.
These first few turns have basically just been straight damage. We haven't seen anything very threatening. We saw a Command and Conquer being used to block, so.
Right, and I don't think anybody's used an embodiment. Everybody's gotten them, but nobody's actually
Yep.
used them. So.
They're remembering their triggers, but they're not using them. Well, Pudding currently has a 5 health lead, but Henry has the beautiful 5-card hand and a plunder run from Arsenal, so this is going to be this turn is going to hurt. Followed up by Nimblism, giving him an embodiment. Yep.
And it works so well with cards like Arcanic Arcanic Shockwave, so you get to go again, you can still fuse and get that arcane damage in. Such a great play.
All right, 1 arcane damage coming in.
And now I think it puts Pudding in a really tough spot to where he has to make the decision: do I lay my whole hand down, or well, I guess he has to make the decision of can I prevent the card draw at all? And if he doesn't think that he can, then it may be a no block. It just depends.
Yep. Currently his skull cap is off, and his grasp is this is a gigantic block here. Looks like he's going to try to stall out the damage, considering that he knows that one of the cards is Weave Lightning.
So now it's coming in. The ball lightning is coming in for 5 or 6, depending on whether it's red or yellow. Given that he only has 1 card in hand, this will probably leak damage, and then that will allow him to draw a card. And the great thing about Briar is now he gets a card that if it's a plunder run, you throw it in Arsenal. If it's anything else, you can really pitch and get a sword swing in, and it's free damage.
Yep.
Really, there's never a card that you don't want to see in this situation, so it's always good.
Yep, and looks like he's gonna.
Both.
It looks like you could get the best of both worlds here and use the tunic to come in for 2 and 2. This is looking quite tough for Pudding. Now, something that I'm thinking about is Pudding went first. So in a game where you're both not blocking much and Pudding only got 2 damage in on turn 1, I mean, going second has the tempo here. And we're kind of seeing that play out over time here. That Henry is basically 1 or half a turn cycle ahead.
Absolutely. Starting with tempo in these matchups is so strong. However, if you go first, which is typically standard in the Briar matchup, most people do want to play first. But it's mainly to get those plunder runs in Arsenal. And unfortunately, Pudding didn't start with 1, so that did not. Obviously, that's not the best outcome. But here we do have a snatch. Like I said earlier, if he had Snapdragon still, it would force Henry to be more inclined to block this snatch. But now the only thing Pudding's gaining is an Arsenal card at best, and it may or may not even be a good one. So.
And with 2 embodiments, and he still has a charge on the grasp, this is basically not hitting in any efficient way. He's either going to block this out for he's going to block the sting, clean block 1 for 1. So Pudding right now does not have an Arsenal, and he is down on life, and he's being attacked into. This is not looking good. And there's still Snapdragons left for Henry. Yep.
Not a good spot.
Yep.
All right, we have a captain's call.
Yep, we have a blue captain's call.
He's probably going to let go again. Yep, he did pick go again, or it makes the most sense. And then we do not have a fuse yet, so just a 4 for go again.
So if you were Pudding, how would you get back into this game? Are you like it seems like neither player is running defense reactions. So that the avenues for coming back here seem kind of limited. Am I wrong here, or?
I think Pudding's only chance to come back in this game is to do what he's doing right now, block with the force of nature and all these efficient blocks,
Mhm.
and then make sure you get one attack in each turn to maintain one embodiment to make your deck block way better.
Yep.
And literally, if I was Pudding, I would extend this game as far as I possibly could, just to wait for the small chance that Henry bricks and draws all non-attack actions.
Yep.
Without that, I don't think, because even this great play of Plunder Run and Ball Lightning, I think it's an easy block for Henry, and then Henry still has 3 or 4 cards. It's just not a good spot for Pudding, especially being down 11 life. It's a tough spot.
I think he might have missed his tunic trigger there. He picked it up, looks like, but then he put it back down. So looks like he missed that one. Maybe nerves getting to him a little bit. Would you say that the force of nature is kind of standard in these lightning decks? I thought that's
in the U.S. and in UK builds, it did not run Force of Natures. So this, I would think that's more of like a defense reaction type, like pseudo replacement.
Right.
That also pitch for a blue. So I
Right.
would say that that's probably some Hong Kong spice for sure.
So it's basically just blocking for 4 typically. I see. Interesting.
It's a 4 block that could be
Could be a
even
5 block
higher.
easily.
That's
Yep.
right.
Fair.
Because the 7 to 9 blues that you typically run in a lightning deck are typically on the weaker side, like some captain's calls and stuff like that.
Right.
So if you can put in something that blocks it really efficiently to really stop those card draws and the plunder runs, it's great.
Right. All right. Looks like there's a pretty significant life lead now. 10 to 21 here.
Yeah, and being at 10 life, I mean, there's really not enough room there for Pudding to take a lot of damage and try to swing something. So he's really just waiting on Henry to brick a hand. Basically, is what he's waiting on.
Yep. He currently looks like that's his only out. Pitching a plunder run. So this could be it. Could be his opportunity here. Yeah. Henry is basically going to arsenal one of those cards. Yeah.
I think if Henry has a great hand, I think he just eats it. And okay, yeah, he drew a lot of attacks. Okay, so this is better. I mean, it was definitely a brick if all he had was a CNC for 6.
Yep.
But we got to see what Pudding can do, because he needs to really push about 8 to 12 damage here. Okay, with the card draw, that's definitely a good spot to be in for sure.
It looks like that's a red plunder run as well, indicated by that 3 dice captain's call into a embodiment of lightning. This is looking to be a great turn here.
And we have a coax.
A coax of commotion. All right. We'll see what type of mode he chooses. If it hits, looks like Henry is thinking about blocking.
Well, I don't think you ever pick the Quicken token in Briar. You don't want to give the other Briar player, especially when you're behind, a Quicken token. That's probably not recommended. However, gaining life here is not bad when you're behind.
Might be bad, yeah. Yep. I mean, 1 life is proportionally much better for somebody at 10, right? So.
Right, absolutely. Well, he did show an E-strike.
Well, it looks like he's froliking with that E-strike. So this attack is coming in for 9 here. So this is going to be a 6 block, 8 block, 9 block with the grasp. All right, looks like Pudding says that's okay. And that's okay. Well, that's his turn. Plunder run into Rabble. Now, okay, revealing a statue. Now, I'm not so sure I like this play. Like, Plunder run into a single attack is threatening, but I feel like you could get a lot more value out of a 2, 3, or 4 card hand rather than, just sending one in. Would you have made that play?
I like. Probably not. But after seeing the snatch, I think it was the right play, because if that would have hit, then he could have played the snapdragon or the snatch and then the snapdragon the snatch.
Oh, right.
So that could have been huge. But without the knowledge of the snatch being on the top, yeah, I probably would have played that one a little bit different. But to each his own.
All right. Henry's life has not moved for quite a while, and well, okay, we're seeing our first defense reaction here. Sigil is suffering. All right, so I guess Henry does have some sigils. I guess those are pretty good in the mirror if neither player is running AB. Could be some mirror tech.
21-5. There's 21-5. That's not enough life.
Yep.
And so it gets the ball lightning and does 1 damage. That's a tough spot for Pudding right now. I don't even think a brick in the hand would get him there at this point.
Yep.
Oh, that's exactly what you want. Ball lightning that he got off the Sonata. That's exactly what you want. And then we have the ball lightning, and then if he doesn't have another attack ready, then it's even a sword swing after that. So the game might be over right here.
Yep. Looking at Pudding's hand, it looks like he has 8 block in his hand. This is or even less. Is that a ball lightning at the end? No, that's a lightning press in hand. And that is game. Wow. HenryFan takes out Pudding in round 1 of the Hong Kong Nationals. That, like I said, there's a ton of strong players in Hong Kong. Just because you win an RTN does not mean you can't take a round 1 loss at Nats. So, yeah.